Welcome back to the Blocks of Spoken. As always, it is I, Rob the Gamer 115, and joining me, as always, is the wonderful Brett. How you doing, Brett?
Doing pretty good. I mean, especially now that we got this new security to keep all the potential visitors out. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling safe. You know.
Well, you can never feel too safe. I've heard that at night things can get real weird, especially when the moon turns red.
Oh no, gotta keep an eye out.
Yeah. Not one, not two, not four, but three people we have lost. And honestly, I don't know if any of the three particularly surprise me.
No, I mean, obviously we'll get into it, but I feel like only one of the votes was like not. I don't know if interesting is the right word, but I feel like all the votes, I'm like, I think I know who's going home. And then one of them, it's
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm leaning one way, but maybe it'll be a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, once you see the way the groups shake out, I kind of. It's funny, I looked at how the group shook out. Remember how last week I had divided everyone into two groups?
Mm-hmm.
I looked at those two groups and I made my prediction as to who was going, and I was right in I think all three. Well, no, I was right in two of the cases.
Yeah. That,
And then the third one was a little bit of a guess, but I'll explain the one that I guessed wrong on. But
okay.
yeah, should we just jump right into it?
Yeah, we got a 17-person merge to talk about. Surely they stay merged forever, right? I'm
Oh,
so
absolute, and they're gone. No, not quite that quickly, but right before they merge, we see a couple of things. Christian, Ozzy, Emily solidify that the three of them are together, and Ozzy tells them about his idol, which I think they already knew.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, Serene knew, right? And I don't know if I'm not sure if the information got back to them or not. I don't know. I mean, by the end of the episode, everybody knows about Ozzy's idol, but I guess it's a good gesture though. That I don't know. I was feeling real down. It looked like Ozzy and Christian were beefing. That's my draft picks right there. But they seem to squash the beef at least for now. So I was very happy with him showing him the idol, and them seemingly are back on the same page.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, we get the three of them kind of reuniting. Another fun confessional from Rick Devens doing the broadcast thing. Was that the first one of those that we've had this season?
Think so. There might have been another one, but I know this one. They had music going with this one. This one was like, I don't know. I like extra noticed this time because even the music was going like dun 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 like in the background.
Mhm. I remember watching Edge of Extinction that I loved those confessionals. I remember my favorite one though. This wasn't even a confessional. My favorite was in the middle of an endurance challenge. Jeff was like, "How you doing, Rick?" And he went, "Ba ba ba bum bum bum. This just in. This sucks." And it's just like, God damn. But yeah, everyone ends up together, and goddamn,
A lot of
a
people.
lot of people, a lot of people. Uh, you know, Uh, the question, of course, is well, what's the first move gonna be? And, why does it not surprise me that it's Genevieve trashing Aubrey to literally anyone who has an ear and a heartbeat?
This is the second time we've gotten a little montage of her just shit talking Aubrey to everybody.
Oh my goodness. What did Aubrey do to her? Like,
I don't know. I mean, even I saw some of the exit press today, and there's still not really a valid not I don't know if valid's the right word, but I don't know. It doesn't seem there's some big inciting incident. It just seems like they just don't like each other. I guess.
I don't know. I don't know. But either way, Genevieve tells no. So Sari and Genevieve talk about how Aubrey is an idol, and Sari confirms to Genevieve that Aubrey has an idol. Genevieve's like, I fucking knew it. Let's tell everyone. And at the time, I remember I was like, oh, Genevieve, what are you doing? I'm like, this is like Jenna levels of paranoia, Charlie levels of paranoia. Like, this ain't looking good. But then also everyone's talking about Ozzy's idol. And then everyone seems to be talking about Rizzo's idol. So like everyone just knows where all the idols are, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Uh but yeah. Sari seems to be really wanting to be tight with Rizzo now. It was crazy to me. I don't know if you caught this. Sari literally was like, yeah, Rizzo is as close of an ally to me as Ozzy is.
Yeah, no, that was very wild. Like, I mean, I'm here for it. Like, this is a very interesting pairing, to say the least. I would not have expected this, but no,
Well,
it's wild how close they got, like so quick though.
I forget if this was something I saw in exit press for someone or if this was part of the episode itself. But I remember seeing somewhere where someone had made the comment, it might have been Sari. Someone had made the comment, they said, you look at a season like this, where a lot of the players are on the older side and stuff. Even if Rizzo makes it to the end, do you think they're gonna respect his game? Or respect that he was able to do this at 25? Or are they more likely to reward it to someone who's older?
Mm.
I remember there was another season. There was another season where there was a similar vibe to that. I'm trying to remember which season I'm thinking of.
Well, I know
Where
Cambodia had Spencer and Jeremy, and
that's
Spencer was
what I
kind
think
of
it was
yeah, yeah,
Cambodia.
okay,
Where they were like where it was like kind of apparent that the winner would have had to be a parent essentially
yeah,
just because of it. So I don't know if that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. I hope that whoever's on the jury would consider every game played at the end, regardless of age.
yeah,
Because that would suck if Rizzo actually played an amazing game, made it to the end, and then just got discredited because he's 25 or 26, however old he is. But either way, I'm down for Rizzo having Sari as an ally. I'm fine with that.
yeah. I mean, the Sari Ozzy Rizzo. I think Sari called it a poly relationship, which I thought was a very funny line to drop. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm hoping this little alliance goes. Yeah, it lasts more than just this little like funny tidbit this episode, which it might,
Mhm.
because later on we see Ozzy and Rizzo together on a little island. But
Yeah. Well, I think it sounded like back on the Swap Tribe, Sari and Rizzo in their conversations. Sari had mentioned to Rizzo, she's like, listen, I want to work with you strongly. Uh, Ozzy is my other number one, so you and Ozzy need to get on the same page. Because if you two start going after each other, I don't know what I'm going to do.
yeah,
So Rizzo was like, okay, I need to become friends with Ozzy. And then they hit the merge, and Sari says essentially the same thing to Ozzy, which leads into what happens, I think. But yeah, we then get a scene of Jonathan, Jonathan solidifying his relationship with Dee and Camilla, which, as I'm reading this out loud, I'm realizing what I just said. Uh, yeah, how'd that go over for Jonathan, do you think?
I mean, they seem like they're great allies, and they're long for the game together. That's my prediction.
And Jonathan has definitely forgiven Camilla for any weird Charlie vote that happened.
It's
Yep.
all swept under the rug, is what that's
Yeah.
how I interpreted the scene.
Definitely. Hey, there's another boat. We like our boats. And there's a twist in the jungle, Brett. And everyone
Yeah.
should go scramble to find it.
I mean, everybody except for Rizzo. I mean, he was just kind of strolling around. I thought he
Look,
was gonna find it. I was like, oh my
alright.
god.
I thought he was too, especially when they like flashed it. I was like, oh my goodness. But like, I actually think Rizzo's approach here is the best approach. I mean, think about it. He is entering this merge in a really sketchy position where I would argue that if Rizzo doesn't go to exile, he has a very strong chance of being taken out this episode, depending on the kind of group makeup he has.
Yeah.
Just because people could look at him and be like, oh, that's an easy vote out. Just like how I would have argued D would have been an easy vote out had she not won individual immunity. But either way, Rizzo wants to kind of give the impression that he doesn't play the game super hard, uh, finding advantages and shit. So he's just walking around, and he still almost finds it.
Yeah, I mean, we got people climbing up, like whatever. I know, like I think Aubrey, it showed like Aubrey
I
up,
was
like
gonna say,
climbing up stuff. Like,
was it Aubrey was compared to a mountain goat?
yeah, yeah. I think Rick had a confessional about that.
I heard Rick say that, and my mind flashed back to our lost Queen Angelina and David vs Goliath climbing up the 50-foot ladder.
Oh, she would have found it. Oh my god, gone too soon.
Oh my goodness. But you know, it's Survivor 50, so naturally Ozzy has to be the one to find it.
Of
I don't
course.
know what Ozzy did to like train himself this season, but he finding everything.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least getting a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he won an extra vote. He got hang on, he won the extra vote. He got gifted the idol. I guess he didn't find the idol, he got gifted the idol. But yeah, he ends up on exile for a second time.
Yeah, I love
And
how he was like, "Oh, I hope this isn't exile," or he said something like that, and it was like,
yeah,
"You are going to exile," which, like, sounds bad, but, I mean, we learned that, like, this is just a free, like, free trip to the jury, like, shoot.
I think next episode when Ozzy and Rizzo realize what happened, they're gonna be like, "Oh, thank goodness." Especially Rizzo. I think Rizzo's especially gonna be like, "Oh, Ozzy might have just saved my life."
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Rizzo has an idol, so like if he thought he was in danger, he could have played it. But and the funny thing is Ozzy also had an idol. So but yeah.
And
Anything else
that's
worth
what, both of Genevieve's Boomerang
yeah.
idols are on exile.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we'll get into how unlucky she is later, but that's just icing on the cake that, like,
I
both of the people with the Boomerang idols are
I had
over
a
there.
thought. I had a thought. Not that this came into play at all, but I was curious about something. So you ready?
Yep.
In a alternate reality, okay? Let's say Ozzy takes someone other than Rizzo, okay?
Mhm.
And let's say, again, hypothetically, that Rizzo is in a different group than Genevieve, okay? If Rizzo's group goes to tribal and Rizzo's voted out, does Genevieve get the idol right before she goes to tribal?
No, no, I mean, I'd be pissed if I got voted out like Genevieve and, like, you don't have an idol, and then you find out that Rizzo got voted out right before you. I'd be like, why did you slip into my bag or something?" Like, I don't know. I like, what would they do? I mean, pull her
I am
aside and be like, "Hey, take this real quick." Like, I don't know.
I imagine that they would have to. Well, yeah, I guess they would get it to Genevieve. They would have to. I guess that's how the phrasing of it is. I don't know. Which also on this topic, since we're talking about it, okay.
Mhm.
How the fuck did Survivor decide the order of the three groups going to tribal?
Yeah, this is something I was very confused about, especially
What
because the only vote that I was like not excited for, but like the only vote that I was like didn't really know the outcome is the one they did first, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and well, not only that, but they're the ones that won the reward.
Hmm.
Typically, I would have thought that the entire group that knocked out got out first would have gone first, and then second, and then last. That's the order
Yeah,
I would have thought,
no,
but I guess not.
no, I'm riding. If I'm Camilla, I'll be like, hey, this is not. Don't give me whatever place it like 17th place. Like, nah, y'all scamming me out of
The
higher
15th.
places.
What the
Yeah.
hell?
I know on like other seasons, people get like paid for like specific placements. So like, I mean, maybe they gave everybody who got voted out that episode the same amount of money or like whatever. I don't really know how it works, but I'd be pissed if like I'm not getting paid 15th place money when I should.
Yeah. Anything else? Either way, Ozzy chooses Rizzo. They go to exile. Is there anything to talk about with exile? I don't think so.
No, I mean Ozzy is having the time of his life over there. Oh, the one funny thing on Exile actually was I know Ozzy like was kind of asking Rizzo like he didn't ask him if he had an idol, but like he knew Ozzy knew Rizzo had an idol, but like he was glad that Rizzo told him that he had an idol. He was like had a confessional where he's like, I already knew he had the idol, but I'm glad he told me himself.
Well, I
Because
mean,
somebody had told him already.
well, it's the thought there, you know.
Yeah,
Rizzo
no, for sure.
Rizzo didn't know Ozzy knew. Rizzo thought he was giving Ozzy valid information.
Hmm.
This is a good situation,
Yeah.
so it's fine. But yeah, I see that working, especially because Rizzo lost quite a few of his allies tonight. I think Rizzo's gonna have to just board the Aussie Suri train, which is also probably the Christian Emily Rick Devens train. So,
Yeah.
but and also probably Aubrey's in there as well. Throw Tiffany in there, I guess. And hey,
Yeah.
guess what? That's starting to look like one of the groups I suggested last week, isn't it?
It's all shaping up.
Yeah, boy, it's wild. Um, all right. Anything else we got to talk about before the challenge, or is that basically it?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, I see the sun's going down and there's this reddish moon coming out that we must discuss.
Oh boy, the blood moon twist. First of all, the twist itself, I think, is fine. I
Yeah.
mean, we've seen them do split tribals before, where they did two groups of five. This is just three groups of five. So honestly, I'm fine with that. Name
Yeah.
is pretty cool too.
I've seen people like really upset about it and I understand like I don't know. It's like I don't think it's a cool in like a normal season. I don't really like it when they merge and they like do this whole thing. But I feel like in this season specifically, I mean, just knowing the logistics, like we need to get a lot of people out. I
Mhm.
was not very like just I don't know if disappointed is the right word, but I wasn't mad about it. I was like, okay, I mean, this makes sense. There's definitely worse things they can do to like thin the numbers down. I mean, maybe there's better things they can do. I don't really know, but I think this is fine. Like, I don't know. I think people are mad about some of the people who went out, maybe, and that's why they're like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I think it was, it's not my favorite twist in the world, but like it made sense to me, and I wasn't like super upset.
There's always gonna be people who are pissed at Survivor no matter what they do. I literally saw a comment on a video today where they were like, last night's episode was the single worst episode of Survivor in history. And I'm like, did you forget about Zach Brown a
I
couple
was gonna
weeks
say,
ago?
I was
Like,
gonna
what
say.
the fuck?
It wasn't the worst episode this season. Come
I
on.
know. Honestly, I would make an argument that it was one of the better half episodes this week.
Yeah, I mean,
It
I
was
enjoyed it.
solid. And, we haven't really talked about it much, but Tiffany got confessionals.
I know, like I'm gonna be so for real. Like I thought with the amount of screen time she was getting, I thought she was gonna get voted out this
Oh,
episode.
100%.
I thought she
On
was
the third
getting cut
Tiffany
off.
confessional, I wrote in my notes, okay, so Tiffany's going.
That would have been so tragic. Oh my goodness.
I was like, well, at least she's getting confessionals on her boot. I'm wondering if they set up Tiffany as like a low threat, but like she starts becoming a bigger threat.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, she didn't get her way this vote, but I get the feeling that you figure if she joins up with Aubrey and the Christian group, right?
Hmm.
Tiffany is like the last person you target.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, no one's looking at Tiffany like she's a threat. Right?
Yeah, and like,
Like, not, at least not currently.
mhm. I think it's also like, I mean, and the next time on Survivor, we see, I think her like they're definitely setting up. There's some Jonathan beef that's going down, so maybe it's her and it's finally heating up, and she's gonna have like a, you know, it seems like she's about to have a bigger part in the story of Survivor 50, like the storyline with this whole like beef that we got going down. Like even as you know, we'll talk about it later when Camilla goes out. She's got some words for Tiff, you know. Like I'm very interested now to see where Tiffany's story goes, and I'm excited. You know, I'm glad she didn't get voted out this episode. That she finally got screen time in. That would have been very sad.
Dude, not only does Tiffany get, what was it, 6 confessionals?
Yep.
Not only does she get 6 confessionals, but what blew me away when you sent me this photo is the person last episode who had the least was Coach. Wow. You start looking at Coach's confessional count, and it's like, yeah, he had a good first episode, but like after that, he hasn't had that many actually.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. But yeah, everyone else at least had 2. Coach had 1. So is this the first episode besides the premiere where no one had 0?
I think so.
It looks like the
Yeah.
third episode also. No one had 0.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, no one had 0, which is good. Ozzy had 8, Jonathan had 8. So those two had the most. And that makes sense, right? Because Jonathan was the big swing vote.
Yeah.
And Ozzy, well, is Ozzy, I guess. Actually, how did Ozzy have 8? He's gone on exile most of this. What the fuck?
Do you want to hear a fun fact that I saw online earlier today?
Is it a fun fact or is it a fun fact?
Well, it's about Ozzy's time on Game Changers. If you remember him being there.
He was there. I don't remember much he did.
So he had 8 confessionals this episode.
Uh-huh.
And he had 8 confessionals his entire time on Game Changers.
Oh my god. Well, to be fair, like, look, obviously we don't know what happens going forward, right?
Mhm.
But like, till this moment, there's no denying that Ozzy has been one of the pivotal players, for
Oh,
better
for
or
sure.
worse. So like, and I would say that the exact opposite was true for Game Changers, where Ozzy was such a non-factor in Game Changers. And
He
I
made it 9
think that's a big
episodes?
reason why Ozzy decided to flip his game on its head this season. Because he saw Game Changers, realized he did literally nothing, played 0 part in the season, and was like, oh, maybe I need to stop playing the way I do. I mean, Ozzy's playing a good game.
No, I mean, I really respect him too. Like I mean, Coach always is like, I don't know. Coach always acting like he's gonna change up how he plays. He always plays the same. Ozzy has
Mhm.
actually like
Ozzy put his money
tried.
where his mouth is.
Yeah, and like he is playing a decent game. Like besides his little blow up last week or whatever, like
I mean, there have definitely been moments where we've seen the old Ozzy come out. That's going to happen. But like, every single time after Ozzy's calmed down or thought about it, he's always come back and been like, you know what? I'm sorry. You're right. Let's move on. You know? Because it's one of those things where, like, if Ozzy doesn't fix his relationship with Christian, right? Then he's in trouble. Like,
Oh yeah. I've been very much enjoying him this season, and I did not think I was going to enjoy him at all. Like, he's
same.
on my he's on my draft team, not because I liked him, but because I was like, no way, this guy don't make the merge. That was my thought process when I drafted him.
I mean, that's basically my thought process with Jonathan. And given how this episode went, I am shitting bricks next episode.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to continue shitting bricks because my two draft picks still are Jonathan and D. And honestly, both of them are in positions where they could go at a moment's notice.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to be
So,
beefing with each other. So, like, you'll get to
yeah.
see how it feels, all right, having your draft picks go at each other.
Well, hopefully they take indirect shots at each other, you
Yeah.
know? Like, if D targets someone like Coach, who Jonathan's allied with, I'm fine with that. And if Jonathan wants to target, like, I don't know, Emily, go for it. But don't target each other, please.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
But yeah, we get to the besides the twist, biggest reward of the season.
The biggest.
Wasn't Zach Brown the biggest reward of all time?
No. Okay, Rob. I've come to the conclusion. Okay.
Yeah, I need to make sense of this because I'm
Okay.
very confused now.
See, the Zach Brown reward was the biggest reward in Survivor history. Okay, this was just the biggest reward of the season. Don't ask me how that works. Okay, don't ask me how that works. But
But like, if this is the biggest reward of the season, right? Then that implies that it's a bigger reward than Zach Brown.
Zach Brown
But
transcends
Zach
everything.
Brown,
Okay?
but Zach Brown was the biggest in history, which means that Applebee's in Survivor 50 is the best in history. In which case, I wonder what changed in the Applebee's menu that the Applebee's in 46 wasn't as good.
No, I was gonna say I understand Liz now. I mean, I'd be pissed off too about not making it to the best reward in Survivor history. You know, like come on.
And I will say, this was something that didn't occur to me in the moment, but only until after I was reading things after the fact. I don't know if this is something you know about the production of Survivor, but during challenges, Jeff does not have an earpiece.
Oh,
He specifically just does what he does. He doesn't have an earpiece in. Nobody's feeding him information or anything. He just kind of does it, right?
mm-hmm.
Which means that he memorized that entire Applebee's menu, including all the ingredients he listed. He memorized all of that.
Hey, I mean, he's obviously a big fan.
Which, if nothing else, that is impressive. But yeah, that was quite the advertisement for Applebee's. They must have shelled in the big bucks this season. I don't know. Have you ever eaten Applebee's? Is it even any good?
So we had one in this town next to me for a while when I was a kid, and then it closed. And I have not been to Applebee's since, so I have no opinion whatsoever on Applebee's.
I might have been to an Applebee's like once in my life, and that's it. That's why I was like, people. I mean, I mean, obviously people eat Applebee's. I don't know. If you ask me to name like the best restaurants, I don't think Applebee's is the one that comes to mind. But okay,
Yeah.
to each their own. Teach their own. But yeah, and don't get me wrong. If I'm starving on Survivor, I will be drooling at the sight of Applebee's.
I mean, yeah, those
But I'd
burgers do
also,
look decent, you know? Like, I saw
oh yeah,
Jonathan scarfing down like 3 of them.
oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he had way more than 3. Yeah, we get to the challenge. Classic endurance. Um, Interesting to see who goes out early and who stays in. It For some reason it surprised me that Jonathan goes out as early as he did, but honestly thinking about it, that's not a challenge designed for a Jonathan.
Yeah, he's a very large man. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's a tough one.
I mean, look, if nothing else, though, I'm gonna say this because it might be the only time this happens. You ready?
Yep.
Cirie did better in a challenge than Jonathan. Just
Oh,
saying. That's
hey,
true. That happened.
challenge B Suri is coming.
But yeah, first to win immunity is who? D?
I think so. Yeah, I'm
D
surprised she didn't
wins.
win the whole thing. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I thought she had it.
Well, I was wondering this. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So D is the first to win immunity, okay? And like fairly quickly afterwards, she goes down. Does she throw at that point?
Yeah, I mean,
Because she doesn't want people to consider her a threat. Her target's already big enough as it is being a winner. I
that
wonder if she threw after she
that
won
is a
immunity.
valid point. I could see that, especially because like, I know. I think when Jeff gave her the immunity, he was like, "Oh, this is like your third one," or like he said something like that.
Yeah, and
She's like,
she's like,
you
"Don't
don't need to
say
throw."
that, Jeff." I mean, that being said, though, D, look at the company you're surrounded by. Chrissy won a bunch of individual immunities. Jonathan's pretty good in the challenges. Christian won individual immunity and won this one. I mean, I would argue that most people who are competing here have won an individual immunity at some point. Like, who hasn't? Cirie.
Has Camilla won? I don't know.
I don't. I
There's a lot
don't.
of challenge beasts on that season, so I wouldn't be surprised if she did it.
But I mean, if they did an endurance thing like this, I could also see her winning it. Hang on. I don't know if I'm gonna get an answer here. Just googling, did Camilla win individual immunity in Survivor 48? Actually, according to Google AI, so take it for what it's worth. She achieved 2 individual immunity wins, including Final 5. Oh, and then there's actually a YouTube video of her winning individual immunity. So yes, that did
Okay,
happen.
so it is canon. It is true.
It is canon that she won at least once, if not twice. So Cirie, I don't think ever did. But everyone, Stephanie, I believe, won one in Palau, I think.
Yeah, she's
If
definitely
not
won.
Guatemala, almost certainly.
Yeah.
Uh, did Tiffany ever win one?
I'm not sure. Tiffany. Who else?
And then the other one I would question maybe is Emily.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what about Tiffany? Tiffany was in what, 46?
Mm-hmm.
No. Apparently not. Tiffany is not. And then the other one was Emily in 45. Did Emily in 45? No. Although she did win a reward challenge, though.
Okay.
Actually, according to Survivor subreddit 6 days ago, Emily has set the record for the lowest tribal immunity challenge win rate of any returning player. Whereas the
Yeah.
person with the highest tribal immunity challenge win rate of any returning player is Bruce.
Oh, okay.
Bruce is the only player who has been on multiple seasons and has a 100% win rate in tribal immunity challenges, while Emily only won 1 tribal immunity in 45 and 0 in 50.
Yeah.
Damn.
She
That's
was on, I think
crazy that
They were
It
the
came down
Lulu
to Bruce and Emily
losers.
both on 45.
I think it was just her, Caleb, and was there even anybody left from that tribe? There,
It was
I
just
don't
her
even
and
remember.
Caleb, I think, in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah,
They got decimated. But yeah, so like, yeah, Dee won this, but like, she's surrounded by people who famously do well in challenges. So
yeah,
like, I wouldn't worry about it too much. But either way, next to win individual immunity is Christian. I forget. Actually, no. So basically, if I remember correctly, they do the transition, and basically everyone in Christian's group drops,
yeah.
and then Christian kind of hangs on for a bit, but is like, yeah, no.
Mhm.
And I got the feeling that Christian didn't throw. Like, I do believe D threw after winning immunity. I don't think Christian did.
No, I don't think so
He
either. I'm
seemed
surprised
like
he
he was
won.
done. Yeah. Who did you notice who the other person who had dropped last before Christian was?
Genevieve was one of the last ones I know.
Ooh.
Like
Oh,
it was.
Genevieve.
I don't remember. It was like two people next to him. I think and Genevieve was one of them that like dropped like at the same time during the
Mhm.
transition.
It would have been interesting if Christian was also dropping then, and they were like, "We have to do a video replay to see who dropped last."
Gotta watch the tape.
I mean, I don't think I don't think that's ever happened in a Survivor challenge. I mean,
I
there have
don't
been
know.
times where they've realized that they've called it wrong and brought people back, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they've ever been like, "We're gonna check the tapes on that." But yeah, and then we end up with three people hanging in there. We have Stephanie. What is it? Stephanie, Chrissy, and Tiffany, who are the last three.
Yeah, I mean, Colby, I felt so. I'm like, why is he still up? What do you like, bro? Bro has the foot injury. I mean, obviously he's dropped by this point, but just earlier, I'm just like, I just remember watching Colby like he was up there for a way longer than I thought he should have been. I'm like, dude, you have a messed up foot. Why are you trying? I mean, his life was on the line, but I'm like, oh my god, please! Like he falls, and it's like Coach falling in Tocantins when he falls off the challenge. It's like, oh my god, Colby. This is like there's been multiple times this season where I've been like concerned for his well being during a challenge. I'm like, maybe it was for the best that he went home this episode. Maybe. Poor
We'll get
guy.
into that, but
Yeah.
probably yeah. But Tiffany then drops. It's down to Chrissy and Stephanie, and it's funny because you see Chrissy and you're like, damn, she is still one of the best individual immunity competitors out here.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Chrissy was actually going to be the one winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
But instead, Chrissy goes down and Stephanie is the last one standing. Or the last one hanging in there, I guess. I wish they said how long
Yeah, that would have been nice
Stephanie
to
had stayed
see.
up there. Because I get the feeling that it wasn't terribly long. Like, no, I'm not saying like only a couple minutes. I'm still saying like half an hour, 40 minutes or something, which is incredible. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think this challenge was over an hour.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if it was, that would have been a point they make.
I mean, they all had a long night ahead of them with that bloody moon, so I mean, I could see them wanting to get through the challenge quick.
Alright. So this is where now I need to mention this, okay?
Uh,
I wrote these notes before we see any strategizing, okay?
mhm.
What I did was I looked at the two big groups that I made last week, and based on that, I made the predictions I did. And this is quite literally what I wrote. You ready?
Yep.
Group 1, Cirie, Emily, and Dee work together, and they take out either Colby or Coach. Check.
Yep.
Group 2, Aubrey, Christian, and Devins work together, take out either Genevieve or Joe. Check. Group 3, Jonathan, Stephanie, and Chrissy target either Tiffany or Camilla. Check. And then this is where I made my predictions as to the 3 that went. And I was right on 2 of them. The only one I was wrong on is what we mentioned earlier. I thought it was Tiffany going, not Camilla.
Yeah.
And I mean, once we saw them strategizing, it became apparent that it was going to be Camilla going. But before we see them strategizing, I was like, oh, Tiffany's getting confessionals? Uh-oh. Alright. So, Ozzy and Rizzo are on exile. They're trying to be positive. Ozzy shows Rizzo his idol. Rizzo shows Ozzy his idol. And they're locked and loaded. Alright, moving on. Which of these 3 groups do we want to talk about? I think we saved Camilla for last.
Yeah, I mean, I think let's go with the most straightforward one, like the Christian Rick group, like and Aubrey. I mean, Genevieve was just. I saw that. I'm like, oh, if she don't win immunity, she's gone. Like, I mean, they tried to do like, oh, I mean, Rick was scared, like, oh, maybe Joe, but I was like, oh, there's no way Genevieve survives this. And especially when she started pitching Rick to Christian, I was like, oh, it's so over.
Yeah. I think the better. I mean, hindsight 2020, and we have the benefit of knowledge that Genevieve does not have. Worth saying that, okay? But I feel like she might have had a better shot trying to get Emily to target Rick. But, like, even then, that would have been a damn difficult thing. I mean, the only other thing she could have maybe done was thrown Joe under the bus, but I don't see Genevieve really wanting to do that either, so...
Yeah, I mean, her best strategy move after losing the challenge was to play her shot in the dark, and she did. And I think that was like the only thing she could really do, right? At that point.
100%, yeah.
I mean, we have Aubrey saying that she's gonna play her idol, and then obviously later she doesn't. But we see her reaching for it, but like,
well, she starts reaching for it because Aubrey's probably thinking, because we never got told that Joe was voting for Genevieve. And I don't know if someone tipped Joe off or if Joe just kind of read the room or what happened there. But I mean, Joe ultimately did vote Genevieve. But imagine a world where Genevieve ends up being safe, right? If you're Aubrey and you don't think Joe is voting for Genevieve, then you're like, who the hell is Joe voting for? Yeah, I'm playing it because Joe might have written my name down.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, yeah, supposedly they would have written down Rick's name, but so I don't blame Aubrey for reaching for the idol, but she made, I think, a very smart play to not play it.
Yeah.
I think she did a smart move also by saying she was going to play it. She literally pulled a Rizzo. She did what Rizzo did. Or what Rizzo did all of 49 at least, so yeah.
Oh, he'll get to it on 50, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah. We've gotta. But it's interesting, right? Like, Christian and Rick do discuss targeting Joe. They're on the off chance that Genevieve has an advantage. But, like, was targeting Genevieve the right move? I'm actually not convinced it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Aubrey's game, 100%, right? Like Aubrey wants her gone. Like one of them, like they're coming after each other.
Whatever. Oh yeah, for Aubrey's game it makes sense. I'm saying for Christian and Devon's.
Yeah,
I think they would have been better off targeting Joe because Joe is the kind of player who is going to go into the background, right? Like Joe's not, now that Joe's not being voted out, I don't see Joe going for a bit. Whereas a player like Genevieve, that is a shield that you could use. And if you're a player like Christian and Rick, you need all the shields you can get.
Yeah.
So I feel like for them, it might have actually made more sense to take out Joe. But I could also see Aubrey putting her foot down and saying, we have to do Genevieve, and
Hmm.
them being like, you know what, we need Aubrey as an ally. Let's let her dictate what we do this about.
Yeah.
But no, I
Yeah.
mean, other than that, I don't really have anything much to say about this. I mean, it's
No.
unfortunate. Genevieve, this wasn't a swap per se, but Genevieve got so screwed this season.
Yeah. Like two idols,
Doesn't get to
nothing.
keep either.
Kyle gets her number one ally gone, and then all her other allies get taken out after the
Oh my
swap.
god.
Like,
I didn't even think about that until I was reading Exit Press, but they're like, yeah, Kyle goes, Q goes. And it's just like, god damn, all of Genevieve's allies are just slowly going. Even here, I mean, yeah, Genevieve goes, but Colby also goes.
yeah,
It's like, god
uh,
damn. It's like
oh,
Genevieve was a curse, and anyone who interacted with her too much, they got cursed as well.
yeah. And so I don't know. The one thing I do want to say about this is like they've been hyping up the Aubrey versus Genevieve beef for so long. I did think this was kind of like a underwhelming end to it, just because like I feel like we heard more about Rick being scared about like an idol thing like the whole time. Like we didn't really get a lot of Aubrey's perspective like going into the vote. I thought we would have had more of Aubrey being like, "Yes, this is like I don't know." It seemed like the rival like the whole thing ended kind of like oh, Genevieve's just cooked and then okay, done. Like I mean, she gives Aubrey
Yeah,
the jacket, which is kind of nice, but I don't know. It was kind of a anticlimactic end to it in my opinion.
a little, yeah. But A, they do have three different tribals. But and B, Aubrey probably wasn't giving them a lot to work with because I don't see any world where Aubrey even entertains the thought of targeting anyone but Genevieve.
Yeah.
So like because whenever you're editing, whenever you're telling the survivor story, right? You always want the audience's perspective to match whoever the swing vote is, right? Basically, what you always want to do is you want to present both sides, and then you want to show whoever's in the middle, whoever might go with one side or the other. And, quite often, there really is no sides to that. Like, for example, in this case, it was like Christian and Rick might have had a discussion about targeting Joe. Were they seriously considering it? I doubt it. But they're edited to make it look like they're the swing. There's no world where you could edit Aubrey to look like she's the swing, you
Yeah.
know? And also, she probably wasn't giving them any material to make her look like the swing. Whereas, compared to a different tribal like Jonathan, where we see clearly two sides, one's targeting Camilla, one's targeting, fuck, who was it? Chrissy? The target? Must have been Chrissy, the target.
Yeah.
One targeting Chrissy, and Jonathan has to make the decision. Like, that's why Jonathan gets as many confessionals as he does, because that's whose perspective that's taken from. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, there it probably would have been repetitive to give Aubrey more confessionals. Like,
Yeah. I think I had this whole like I don't know, for the longest time I was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna like Aubrey's gonna play her idol and Jennifer's gonna get idol out." Like back in the like,
or
before
or
the
the
swap, that's what I thought was gonna happen.
or
And then
the
this
better situation that could happen is like, imagine if, for example, all 17 players were going to one tribal, and you have Aubrey and Genevieve scrambling to get numbers on their side. Like, that would have been fun as well.
yeah, I
Because
mean
then
this
you're
would place
like, where
Aubrey
does
good on
everyone line up? Where does people go?
yeah.
Like, so no, I mean, I do get you, but I feel like the issue is not that this was underwhelming. I think the bigger issue was how hyped they made it seem like it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, because the Survivor editors obviously knew how this was going to end. So, like, why did they make it such a point to show the Genevieve Aubrey feud, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, should we go on to the Colby vote out?
Yeah. I mean, this one was also like, well, it's Coach or Colby. Like, I don't. Oh,
This one was a little closer, though. I actually
yeah.
wasn't sure who was going.
Yeah. You know.
But, early on, you have Dee and Emily kind of being like, we think we should target Coach because we think Colby's going to get medevaced anyway and we can get both of them out of the game, which is brutal.
That is crazy, but also like, I mean, shit. Like, it makes sense.
I literally think one of them was like, we can get two birds with one stone. I was like, God damn. Which, by the way, I don't know if you saw this in Exit Press, but from what I saw, Colby was almost medevac hours before Tribal.
Yeah, I did see that. Like, he had like an infection along with his like foot already being messed up.
Yeah, I guess he had a bad staph infection. They were gonna medevac him, but Colby was like, listen, I am fairly certain I'm getting voted out tonight anyways. Please just let me go to Tribal. And if I don't get voted out, we'll discuss it after.
Yeah.
And I guess they looked at it. My guess is that, well, it's the kind of injury that, like, yeah, Colby couldn't stay in the game for the next 14 days. Him being out there 3 more hours wasn't gonna kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they probably, medical consulted with producers. They had a discussion about it and they made the agreement. And I think the agreement basically was, all right, we'll let Colby go to Tribal because you know that they know that Colby's getting voted out as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, okay, Colby, we'll keep you in the game for now. And if you stay, then we'll figure it out. So, like, Dee and Emily were probably right. Like, they probably could have targeted Coach and gotten Colby out, but, like, there was another part to it that I had not really considered. And I think this is the bigger reason why Cirie wanted Colby voted out. Did you pick up on this?
What?
By voting out Colby, he's not on the jury. If you vote out
Oh,
Coach and Colby gets medevac 30 minutes later, Colby's now on the jury.
yeah. This is true.
So
This is
this was
true.
less about getting Colby out of the game and more about not putting him on the jury for Cirie.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he wouldn't be bad. Like, he wouldn't be bad for her on the jury. Like, I don't know. I don't see Colby riling troops against Cirie, but I do think Colby is a more influential person than Coach would be, like, on a jury. So
There
I
was
don't know.
there was a conversation I saw where it was like, Colby on a jury, yeah, he might rally votes. Coach on a jury, he makes a band.
uh,
It's like, damn, you right.
yeah,
Ah, yeah. It was really heartfelt seeing Colby go.
yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything else here to talk about?
No, it was a
Oh,
very depressing exit. They gotta, try to get you in your feels type of
mhm.
thing. Maybe this is why they made this one last. I don't know. Like, maybe they're like, all right, we need Colby last so we can give him the emotional send off to end the episode.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, I feel bad because like I don't feel too bad about him getting voted out because like I mean he was gonna die out there. Let's be honest. Like, he was going through it, but if he wasn't injured, I do think he was playing a decent game.
Oh
So it is
yeah, he
unfortunate.
was.
Like, he
The
was.
thing is that, and you can, if you read between the lines on the exit interviews, you can kind of pick up on this. Is that Colby probably Colby 100% could have done more to stay in the game. But Colby didn't want to. And I think the reason was he knew that he was probably going to get medevaced sooner rather than later. And he literally said it himself in one exit press where he said, if I campaign against Coach so that I can stay in the game for 2 more hours, that is just me being selfish.
Yeah.
And I don't want to burn Coach and potentially cost his chance at the game. So I think Colby literally spent like 15 minutes campaigning to try to stay and then realized what he was doing and just kind of stopped and gave up.
Yeah.
Not because he wanted to go, to be clear, but because of his injury, which I had said it last week, I think it was, where I was like, why are they mentioning Colby's injury? Is he going to get medevaced?
Mm-hmm.
No, but nearly.
Yeah, we were close. We were very close, and I am very glad he didn't get medevaced and he was able to go out this way. Because if he got medevaced and this is his last time, you could be like, even
Yeah.
if it was looking like he was going out, like, oh, what could have been? But this is a more like definitive end
It's a
to
fitting
his
end.
story.
All right, quick question, okay?
Yep.
Imagine a scenario where Colby is not injured in the foot. He didn't tear his ligament. He doesn't have an infection, but everything else remains the same, okay?
Yep.
And let's say Colby is now actively fighting. It sounds like Colby realized that if he wanted to stay, his only way was going to be to throw Coach under the bus.
Yeah.
So let's say Colby and Coach start throwing each other under the bus, okay? Now, Colby still doesn't have a vote. Is there a world where Colby stays in that scenario?
I don't know, because Cerise seemed very adamant about she called him the head of the snake or whatever, and I don't know. That was when I became like, oh, like okay, yeah, Colby's gonna go. Because once Cerise said it, a lot of times when Cerise says something, it means it's gonna happen. So if Cerise truly viewed him that way, I think he was probably cooked. And honestly, like, I kind of get where she's coming from because, like, not that I think of Colby as this master strategic player or anything like that, but I mean, he can ride. He had allies. He could like get people together. Coach is just kind of like, Coach is gonna get in an argument with somebody like the minute like some vote doesn't go their way. Like Coach isn't gonna win the game. Like I don't know. I feel like Coach is he does a good job rallying people when you're not voting people out, but the minute like tribal happens and like stuff starts to go down, that the nicknames stop coming out and the arguments start. So I think it's better to keep like kind of like a coach who's not really. I think Colby could have made some stuff happen with his people, and I don't know what coach is gonna do. I don't. He'll probably give a couple more nicknames or something. We'll see.
All right, here's my last question on this, okay?
Yeah.
Colby's now played 4 times. Australia, All-Stars, Heroes vs. Villains, and 50. Of the 4, which do you think was his best game? Not obviously in terms of placement, but in terms of he played a great game.
I mean, it's obviously between Australia and this one, and I mean, I want to say, like, he was doing really good in this game. Like, he had alliances. I'm so sad we don't get to see him and Rizzo anymore. That could have been something fun. Like, it's hard to say that this was a better game than a game where he was like a vote away from winning $1 million.
It's not difficult for me. I think he played much better in 50 than Australia.
Yeah. I do think if you put 50 Colby in Australia, he wins the game easily.
Look at all of the allies that Colby has gained, right? All of the allies that Colby had in the game were on different sides. No matter what happened, Colby was gonna bounce back. Like, yeah, Colby was kind of more with like Coach and Jonathan. But like if those people start going out, then he can easily connect back with Rizzo.
Yeah.
He could easily, I mean, I shouldn't say easily, but he could make an attempt to connect back with Stephanie and Sari. like Colby had positioned himself very well, and you know, I I kind of wish Coach went instead of Colby, but I understand.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone here made a mistake. I think everyone here made the right call to take out Colby. All right, last tribal.
Yep.
All right, I I'm still processing this one because this one was weird. So like very early on, Jonathan, Stephanie, or no, sorry. Let me start that again. Early on, Stephanie, Chrissy, they're both like, we're gonna target Camilla.
Yep.
Why is it immediately Camilla and not Tiffany? Like they never even considered Tiffany.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, because Tiffany has a confessional talking about how like her and Chrissy never vibed at all. So it's not like there's like something like, oh, Chrissy's gonna be like, oh, I want to keep Tiffany in. I mean, maybe it goes back to like the 48 thing. Like they all just saw 48, and Camilla was seen as a very good player. She seems like the more obvious one to target out of the two. I'd say. I guess. I mean,
You
maybe
could
that's
also
factored in.
maybe make the argument that like Camilla has Joe, whereas Tiffany has now lost both of the 46 people.
Yeah.
I don't know. But either way, they decide they're targeting Camilla. Then you have Tiffany and Camilla. Chrissy literally walks over to them and is just like, I know you're gonna vote for me. It's okay. And I'm like, Chrissy, don't give up.
Yeah, I was. I
And
literally typed "poor Chrissy" in my thing, and I was like, I was like, oh wait, hold up. That
yeah.
confessional is so good.
And all of a sudden, Chrissy's just like, I don't think I'm going though.
Hmm. Amazing confessional.
Oh my god, it was phenomenal. And you can tell that like Chrissy has found her people in Jonathan and Stephanie.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I think her people are in the overall minority, but you know, for this round, she's in the majority. Yeah, no. But again, you know, they decided it's Camilla, and it just becomes a question of what does Jonathan do? And Jonathan does a really good job of explaining the kind of there's a term. Have you ever heard of the chess term? I think it's called like Zugzwang.
Mm-mm.
So it's a chess term, and essentially it mean. Hang on, let me Zugzwang. It basically what it means is that no matter what move you make here, you are putting yourself in a worse position.
Ah, yeah.
Like you have to make a move, but no matter what you do, you're kind of screwing yourself.
Hmm.
And
That
I feel
I
like
see
that's
that.
Jonathan's situation here.
Hmm.
Is like if he
Somebody was
takes
gonna
out
be mad.
right, like if he takes out Camilla, then he's pissing off Tiffany, he's pissing off Rizzo, he's pissing off a lot of these new school players. By proxy, probably destroying his chances of working with like a Christian. And then if he takes out Chrissy, he's pissing off Joe. He's pissing off Coach and Colby, which, you know, he doesn't know Colby's going.
Yeah.
Probably pisses off Genevieve, again, who he also doesn't know he's going. And it's the question of what was the right decision, you know?
Hmm.
And here's my thinking, okay?
Yep.
My gut reaction right now is that he made the right decision.
Ooh. Okay.
And it's interesting because, in theory, what he did was ally himself with the people who I just said were in the minority, right? Which on paper sounds bad, I know. But think about it like this, imagine he goes the other way, right? Now you have someone like Joe who's potentially on the jury. Is he going to vote for. Well, I guess. Is he going to vote for Jonathan? If Jonathan betrayed his ally? Joe is someone who votes based on allegiance.
Yeah.
Coach is someone who votes based on allegiance. You have all of these loyal people like Chrissy, Steph, who literally seem to want to live and breathe loyalty. And if Jonathan burns them, he kind of loses all their jury votes.
Yeah.
Whereas if he takes out Camilla, he could easily swing back and forth, which is not the kind of game Jonathan has played traditionally, but it's a better shot at a winning game.
Yeah, and let's be honest, he's probably not getting like somebody like Camilla's jury vote anyway, or like Camilla or D. Like they're probably not voting for him in the end, honestly. So
Voting out Chrissy is good for the short-term game. I think voting out Camilla, provided he can survive the next like 2 or 3 tribals, I think voting out Camilla here was actually good for his long-term game.
yeah.
Like, I will actually go ahead and say it. You ready?
Okay.
Jonathan has win equity.
Ooh.
Not a
Okay.
lot. Not a lot.
But it's there.
But it's there. And you know what? There are players that I will say have no win equity at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Who is the player who has the least win equity? At this moment in the game, I would say the person with the least win equity is Chrissy, I would think.
Yeah.
I would say probably Chrissy, possibly Stephanie.
Yeah, I'd probably put Coach up there too, just because I can never see him like convincing
Yeah.
a jury of him winning. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen it before. I don't know. I know
can see
how it
Coach as
ends.
well. So yeah, I would say like they have the least win equity. Whereas like I'm trying to think, who has like the most win equity at this point? Christian, right?
Yeah, I mean, gotta be
Christian and
like
Ozzy.
Christian, Ozzy, like even like Emily, not maybe not Emily, but just like people who, I mean, they've survived all these tribals and like have stuff they can actually
Honestly,
point to so far.
you know who else is up there along with Christian, Ozzy, and Emily? Sari.
Yeah, I mean, true.
Sari's got a lot of. Sari always has win equity. That's the
This
thing.
is true.
Like,
This is true. Like,
Sari could do nothing this entire season and just make it to the end, and she has win equity, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, I think taking out Camilla, at the very least, if taking Camilla out is not the right decision, I feel like taking Camilla or Tiffany was the right call for Jonathan.
Yeah.
Maybe an argument could have been made taking out Tiffany is better than Camilla. I don't really understand why Tiffany wasn't considered, seemingly, but like,
Well, Tiffany wasn't in that. Like Tiffany didn't vote against Jonathan, at least, right?
it wasn't Jonathan who
I guess that's
proposed
true.
Camilla.
I guess that's true.
It was Stephanie and Chrissy who proposed Camilla.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I wish I understood why Tiffany was not even considered.
They knew if she went out with all like no confessionals, we'd be mad. All right, that's why. They knew.
They edit Tiffany was gonna
I
get.
know.
Damn, wild.
I mean,
But
at the very least, we're getting some good content out of this vote because as Camilla gets voted out, we get to drag that man through the mud line, and seeing the teaser, it looks like we're getting some drama from this. So I'm team drama, so I'm all for the move too. Like good TV, let's do it.
is there a scenario where I'm gonna say right off the bat? I think the answer is no. Is there a scenario where Camilla should have played her shot in the dark? Probably not, right?
No, I mean, I think she thought he was with them, honestly.
Yeah, I think she really thought Jonathan and her were good, so. Yeah, I feel like Camilla was kind of not in a position to do that, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, that about does it, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
down to 14.
Still a lot of people.
Still a lot of people. Especially when you consider that there's typically only about 7 or 8 more episodes in the Survivor season.
Yeah.
Which, doing the math out, I mean, let's say they go crazy and the finale starts with the final 6, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say that there's 7 more episodes before the finale, right? That would mean that they need to take out 8 people, which is doable easily. So, I mean, honestly, if you sprinkle in like 1 or 2 more double boots, this is doable.
Yeah, I mean, I think this triple boot really like. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of glad they did it this way too. Like, I think all of us kind of thought they were gonna do double tribals off rip, and I'm kind of glad they let us like kind of spend time with the people more before everybody gets voted out. And I mean, this triple boot has really alleviated a lot of my stress about how we're gonna. I thought they're. I don't know. Like I said earlier, I think there's a lot worse ways they could have, like a lot of dumb things they could have done to eliminate people, and I think this was an all right version of it. Like I'm not too upset.
No, I'm actually pretty happy with how they decided to do things. Because similar to you, the season starts and people are only going one at a time, and you're like, "What is going on?" But it really allowed you to spend good amount of time with everyone. I mean, even the people who got taken out kind of on the earlier side, like Savannah. I mean, Savannah just having she just won 49. I felt like she had just the right amount of time in 50.
Yeah.
Normally I would say the same about Rizzo, but like Rizzo's actually like making moves, so like damn. I'll say this, Rizzo has win equity.
Oh no, for sure.
Like
He's.
that's
I think he goes far. I really do.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I hope so.
Oh, a Riz God fan.
But yeah. Alright, last thing I'm gonna ask before we officially end this. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume a normal merge vote next week, okay? So Ozzy Rizzo come back, 14 players, one person wins individual immunity, and then there's a normal vote, okay?
Yeah.
Who do you think gets targeted and who do you think ends up going?
I think just based off what we've seen, there's obviously going to be some beef between D and Jonathan. So I could see an early push between, them going for each other. I feel like it's kind of
Dare
some
say that.
I mean, that is exactly what you don't want to hear. I feel like that's a lot of like I feel like that's some misdirection maybe. Like maybe somebody like somebody gets caught in the crossfire type of thing. Like maybe a Joe or a maybe Chrissy this time around gets sniped. I'm thinking it's gonna be somebody on the Jonathan side, like the old school side of things,
Mhm.
that gets clipped. I'll just say Joe because I'd be happy if Joe went home. He's there.
I'm kind of in a similar mindset where I think it's gonna be one of those players to go. As for which one goes, Joe's a pretty good guess. I'm gonna be honest.
I hope so.
Um, but I will go ahead and say that you know what, Stephanie's the one that lasted the longest. I'm gonna say they target Stephanie.
Okay, okay.
But yeah. Or alternatively, uh, people make a wild prediction. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, no shot this happens, but wild prediction. Okay. Everyone suddenly realizes that if they don't do something about Sari, she is making it to the end.
Ah,
And they take out Sari.
it's too early for
Even
that.
Ozzy votes Sari.
That would be too normal of a way for her to go out, okay? That doesn't make sense to me. There's got to be some more craziness involved.
I don't know. Being voted out in the biggest merge vote out in Survivor history, I mean,
True.
that's something. Either way, that's gonna do it. We'll gladly get to talk more about Survivor 50 next week with you, Brett. But until then, have a good weekend. See everyone later.
Bye.